Hi everyone, I'm Aaron from DataStax, and today I'm here to talk to you about evaluating your Cassandra cluster for migration to AstraDB, part number 5. We're going to talk about exporting and importing data and the tools that you can use to make this successful. All right, let's go. Our agenda is going to be pretty simple. We're going to quickly cover the zero downtime migration from just a high-level standpoint. We're going to talk about the data migration tools, and then we're going to look at two of the main ones, the CDM, or Cassandra Data Migrator, and the DS Bulk Loader. And then I'll run a little demo on both of them. So, of course, for the context here, we're still using our Killer Video legacy app that we've had for well over a decade. Killer Video is essentially a YouTube clone, and what we're doing is kind of simulating migration of a legacy Cassandra application over to AstraDB. So, real quickly, just like I talked about a lot in the last video, the zero downtime migration is essentially a way to build a bridge between an Apache Cassandra cluster or a DSE cluster and DataStax AstraDB. What happens is that we stand up multiple clients of the ZDM proxy application, and that sits between the application and the databases. So whenever there's a write operation, the application connects directly to the proxy, sends the write to the proxy, and the proxy forwards the writes on to both databases. However, while we're doing our reads, until the data migration is complete, we really don't want to be reading from AstraDB, so we're going to read from our existing Apache Cassandra cluster. So the reads are going to go from the application to the ZDM proxy and over to the Cassandra cluster. So that is all going to happen while we're moving the data. And you notice on the bottom here, there's that section that says CDM/DS Bulk. Well, that is the data movement process that we're going to talk about today. So data migration tools, two common options are the Cassandra Data Migrator, or the CDM, and also the DS Bulk Loader. So the DataStax Bulk Loader is pretty simple. It's a single executable application, exports data as a CSV or as a JSON file, and you can then take those same files and import them right into AstraDB. And if you want to check out DS Bulk, I have the GitHub repo right there. It's just github.com/datastax/dsbulk. The Cassandra Data Migrator is a little more complicated. It has some dependencies on Java. Specifically, it requires at least Java 11. Although, truth be told, I actually built it on my own machine using Java 21, and it ran just fine. The CDM also has a dependency on Spark 3.5.3. And we have instructions in our documentation on how to pull down that specific version of Spark and get at least that. And if you want more information, you can have a look at the GitHub repo that I have listed here, which is just github.com/datastax/Cassandra-data-migrator. So let's look at a demo. We'll move one table using DS Bulk, and then we'll move another table using CDM. All right, here we go. So on my local Cassandra here, let's have a look at the Killer Video key space in the videos table. So I'll say select star from videos. And as you can see, we have a bunch of videos out here, 57 to be exact. All right. So I can exit out of here now. Now, let's check that same table in our AstraDB cluster. If you remember from my last video, we went ahead and had the ZDM proxy demo Astra database that we were putting our data into. And we'd gone ahead and stood up the ZDM proxy in between both databases. And then we executed an insert and saw that that row was inserted into both my local Cassandra and my AstraDB. So let's go ahead and say use Killer Video, and then you can say select star, from videos. And as you can see, we still have that one row in there. So let's look at getting this table synced up. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the Cassandra Data Migrator. So what I've done here is, since the CDM is a Java-based application, yep, I've got Java. You also need Maven because this is as you can see, there's a POM XML. So yeah, that's definitely Maven. But as you can see, I've already built it. So I can do an ls-all on target. And you see that there's the Cassandra Data Migrator 515 snapshot jar. All right, that is what we want right there. So here you can see I'm inside my Spark directory. I followed the doc and I went ahead and installed Spark 3.5.3. I can do an ls all on the bin directory. And you can see here is that Spark submit command that we're going to execute to the Cassandra Data Migrator as a Spark job. Now, before we do that, though, we need to bring a couple of things into this directory. So let's just do ls all. Let's go ahead and bring in our Secure Connect bundle. So I've gone ahead and downloaded this already. Let's go cp ... There we go. I'm going to grab that and we're going to call that Secure Connect ZDM, just like that. .zip. All right, so you can see, yep, I've got my Secure Connect ZDM right there. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is get our jar file in here. Let's go ahead and say cp, and I keep my projects in document, workspace, Cassandra Data Migrator, target, snapshot jar, and we want to build that, we want to copy that to Cassandra Data Migrator -5.1.5.jar. Okay, so I have the Secure Connect bundle, I have our jar file. Let's take a look at our CDM properties file. All right, so CDM properties file. As you can see, I've got our origin set up to hit my local Cassandra cluster. Yeah, let's get that configured properly. CDM. And I also need to change that to Spark -3.5.3 bin Hadoop 3 Scala 2.1.213, just like that. Okay, and we've got our token. I'm going to pop our token in there like that. Keyspace.table is going to be killervideos.videos. All right, let's save that. Okay, so now we can run this as a Spark job. So let's go bin /spark -submit properties file, and we want CDM properties like that. Say master local star, make sure that's in quotes. Driver memory, let's say 5 gigs. Executor memory will also put it 5 gigs. Class, here's where we'll designate our CDM class that we built. So com.datastax.cdm.job.migrate. And then our jar file is Cassandra-data-migrator-515 jar. All right, let's give this a shot. Uh-oh. It didn't like our Secure Connect. Let's see here once. ls all. Yeah, let's just grab that. Yeah, that legit does not exist. Huh. Oh, I had the wrong version number on the Spark directory. There we go. Okay. Let's edit that in our CDM properties file. 3.5.3 and save. And let's try rerunning this. Oh, didn't like something else now. Oh, key space is spelled incorrectly. Back to CDM properties. Killer video is singular. Videos is plural. Okay, let's save that and try that again. Okay, that looks better. All right. So now let's bounce back to here. And let's do a select star from videos. And if we did this right, there should be, what, 57, I think? 57, look at that. All right, data migration with the CDM for that table is successful. Okay, with that, now let's have a look at the DS bulk migration tool. So let's go ahead. We just did a select star from videos. We know those have been synced out there. Let's try YouTube videos. Okay, so the YouTube videos table is empty out there. So let's try to run an export from my local Cassandra cluster and then go ahead and run an import into Astra. First of all, let's verify there's data there. So let's say use killer video, select star from YouTube videos. Okay, we have 49 videos out there in the YouTube videos table. Excellent. So next, let's go to our DS bulk directory. You can see I've got it right here. We can have a look at LSL bin, and yep, you can see we have a DS bulk command there. We should also make a spot for our data files to reside on an interim basis. I've actually gone ahead and created this CSV directory. Say cd csv lsall. You can see that I have used this on several different tables already for killer video. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and use it on the YouTube videos table. So I'm going to get out of there. All right, right from here, let's just go bin/dsbulk, and we'll say we want to unload data, and we'll say URL, and we'll go ./csv YouTube videos, and we'll say k killer video and table YouTube videos. For our Cassandra cluster locally, we'll pass along a U of Cassandra because we'll use the Cassandra user, and a P of Cassandra. And let's see if this works. All right. So 49 rows total and 0 failed. So let's have a look. Let's go ls all csv YouTube videos. All right, you can see that there is an output 001.csv file there. We could even do a cat on that. So we could say cat csv YouTube videos output 1, boom. And you can see that we have all of our YouTube videos here. All right. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and load them into our AstraDB database. So we can say bin ds bulk, and we'll say load URL, and let's say YouTube videos, and we can say output 001 CSV, and let's load that into the killer video key space table of YouTube videos, and our secure connect bundle /spark and secure connect zdm.zip. That should do that. We're going to go U again with a literal word of token, and then for password we're going to go ahead and paste in our AstraDB token. All right, let's give this a shot. All right, load completed successfully. So let's go over here. You can see we've done a select star from YouTube videos. Let's rerun that command. 49 rows, look at that. All right, so we've successfully used dsBulk to move our data from a local Cassandra cluster to the file system. And then we ran dsBulk again to load it from the file system on up to our AsterDB database. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us today on this short video where we talked about the two common data movement tools that are used with a Cassandra to AsterDB migration. So I implore you, go ahead and check out either the dsBulk tool or the CDM or both, and have a look on which one might work best for you. Want more information on modernizing your self-managed Cassandra deployments? Head on out to datastax.com/modernize-apache-cassandra-workloads, and you'll find all the information you need on keeping your self-managed Cassandra cluster updated and in top running form. Thank you, and have a great day.